And welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
And I am Stacey Earlywine, and I see something different on our set.
Yeah, I changed the quilt.
I love it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Spectacular.
Thank you.
Now, what is that pattern called?
It's a 12-pointed star. I don't know the exact pattern name. I'm not sure.
Well, it's very pretty. I love orange. Orange and yellow are my favorite colors.
Yeah,
so.
the interesting thing about that quilt is I would have never thought to put orange and red together. I mean, it's not usually, it's more of a cheddar orange, cheddar yellow. That's what that old fabric's called. This quilt's probably
it does
from
look like a piece of cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, so, but it looks great together. So.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. So where did you pick this beauty up at?
I was in Tennessee this weekend. Did a little antique shopping and happened upon that beauty, and I'm thinking she's going home with me.
Yeah.
And she did.
How often do you go antiquing and bring a quilt home?
I don't think my husband watches the show, so
That's
I don't
good.
know.
So you can lay it all out on the line. Yeah,
Fairly often. I will say that is like probably one of my biggest hobbies is like collecting old quilts.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm a this stuff. I like old.
Yeah.
I like dishes and glasses and depression wear and stuff. I have some old quilts. I don't know much about them. The ones I have I do love them, and I've got them out a little bit. But I'm more of a glassware thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's beautiful. Love the color.
Yeah, thanks.
So Tennessee, huh?
Tennessee.
That would have been a fun time.
It was fun. We went down there for a cowboy action shoot that my husband competed in.
I think I saw where he got second place.
He did. He got second place in his class, which was good.
Awesome.
And yeah.
So like you watch him shoot?
No.
So okay, so like are they shooting at targets or what are they shooting at?
Yeah, they're shooting at targets.
Okay, so it's who gets like the bullseye, right?
Yeah. Well, they're kind of like targets that pop up and move and different things happen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they. I don't know. It's fun, but no, I don't stay and watch. It's really loud.
Note to self, don't break into the Cooper's house. You will get shot and he will hit you.
Yeah. Sure will.
Yeah, note to self. That's the last place you want to break into.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we usually start our show off with old magazines because I started being crazy and getting a lot of old magazines at one time. And we have visited this magazine before. It's a McCall's. It's an October edition. It is 10 cents. You'll recognize this beauty. Here, Ty, can you scoop in, babe?
Oh, yeah, the Spanish lady.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
The thing about these McCall's magazines is that they're so thick. I mean, they're not like today's magazines where it's just like, I mean, these have a lot of stuff in them.
This is 1924.
Oh, my.
This came out in October of 1924. And it is beautiful. And what's great about this magazine is there's actual, it's almost like a bunch of short stories. That's what I love about it. Thank you, Ty. Yeah, there's a lot of short stories. Of course, there's a lot of ads, too. But a lot of the ads are black and white. And it also shows a lot of different... I just lost my train of thought, Beth. What is it, like patterns?
Oh.
Because apparently a lot of people made their patterns. And we've shown some of the fashions. But this...
Okay, is this the pineapple ad?
This is the Hawaiian pineapple.
Okay.
Look at this ad. Look how bright. I mean, this is basically everything's black and white. And then you open this up and you've got this beautiful coconut ad. Crushed and sliced. Pineapple. What I say, coconut? Well, I don't know where I'm at. I'm in Hawaiian pineapple, canned 2 ways, crushed and sliced.
It looks yummy.
Oh, don't it though?
I'd totally go out and buy a pineapple after this. I wonder how, 1924, what do you think how hard do you think it was to find fresh fruit like that in Clay County? Yeah. Do you think we had a lot of grocery stores. Do you think they carried pineapples?
I bet they didn't. I mean...
But maybe they have this canned pineapple.
It is canned. I mean, it shows them on the middle. It shows them canned 2 ways.
Yeah.
Crushed for sundaes, ices, pies, cakes, fillings, salads, and hundreds of made-up dishes. And then sliced for serving right from the can and for quick desserts and salads. Ooh, I love pineapple on a salad.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that sounds good
I love pineapple. Just
it doesn't really say... That comes from, it comes from Montgomery Street, San Francisco, California. Please send me free of charge. So maybe they had to order them.
Oh.
99 tempting pineapple treats.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think the ad's beautiful. Because like I said, you go from black and white, black and white, black and like, bammo.
Well,
and there's pineapple.
I bet that pineapple company paid a lot to have that printed in color.
Oh, yeah. Well, like even the size of this book is I mean, it's a lot bigger than
a normal magazine. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember who gave me this magazine. This may have been one that I got from Don Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this may have been one of Rena's magazines that he gave me for that. But yeah, how cool.
Very cool.
Pineapple.
Love it. Love pineapple.
Pineapple, yeah, I do too. Yeah, and I've never really, I think, Jim, we've got one a couple times and we've cut into it.
A real pineapple?
A real pineapple.
Yeah. Well, I like to do that, but years ago, my in-laws, Cheryl and Clarence Cooper, they went to Hawaii and they brought back, had me sent, I don't think they brought it back. I think they had it shipped, actual pineapples from Hawaii. It was like eating candy. It was so good.
Well,
it was different than like the ones in our grocery stores.
Absolutely. It's totally different because Don Thomas's son, Troy Thomas and Sandy Thomas, they ended up finding this company that ships them, and it's pink. The pineapple's pink. It's like almost like the color of grapefruit, and it is sweet. It's like eating the sweetest candy you've ever had.
Wow.
He sent me the link to it, but he was like, Stacey, seriously.
They just ship them to your house.
But the pineapple's pink, and I think it comes from Hawaii.
I'm going to look into that later because my whole family loves pineapple.
I love. It was the summertime, and we were going to we were going to both we're going to do more fruit this year. We're going to lay off the ice cream. We're going to do more fruit. So like we ate pineapple and grapes and strawberries and blackberry. We ate everything. I gained more weight that summer eating all that fresh fruit than I ever have in my life. Nobody warned you that all that sugar.
It's still sugar.
It's still sugar.
Yeah, your body still treats it as sugar.
It does. How wrong is that?
Yeah.
How wrong is that?
It's wrong and it's sad.
Because I'd rather been eating the Eskimo pies.
Yeah.
I love fruit, but if I have my choice between... Yeah, Jim and I were like... Because about a month and a half into it, Jim was like, my God. He said, do you feel just like horrible? I said, I do feel horrible. He said, shouldn't we be feeling good? We ate all that pineapple and watermelon. I'm like, it's watermelon. It's supposed to just run right through you.
No.
No, it didn't. Oh, well, that was my summer ago. So now I just stick to ice cream in the summertime.
Man, I love ice cream.
So
while we were in Tennessee this weekend, we did this little, Silas and I, it was just me, Jason, and Silas, my 11-year-old son. So we decided our favorite thing about where we went, we were there last year too, was the ice cream place. It was a Baskin Robbins. I love Baskin Robbins because I liked hand-dipped ice cream. I don't like the soft serve. I like the hand-dipped. And so we were so excited about going to that Baskin Robbins in this town that we were in. And so we dropped Jason off at the chute, and we were like, where are we going? Ice cream. And we drive, and Baskin Robbins was closed.
Oh, my goodness.
They went out of business. And it was so sad.
You know what? I've never eaten Baskin Robbins ice cream.
Oh, it was good. But anyway, the next day we ended up driving to another town that was about 30 miles away from where we were staying. We were in Shelby. We stayed in Shelbyville, but we drove to Murfreesboro. They had a really good Baskin Robbins.
Really? Never been to one. Jim is the homemade ice cream.
Yeah, his ice cream.
My husband makes the best homemade ice cream you'll ever eat. And I've said, we've got to cut down and no more ice cream. No more. If you make it, you send it elsewhere.
Yeah.
He loves to make homemade ice cream, but so we have an interesting show today.
We do have an interesting show. It's a little sad. It's a little morbid. It's a little interesting. It's a little sometimes like, what the heck?
Right.
But today we're talking about causes of death in Clay County in the past. So,
which is interesting. We came across this. We were Beth and I joined the Genealogical Society up here in Louisville. So we joined that, and we were just like flipping through this, and I'm like, we came across these books, Clay County death records. Of course, you're probably not going to be able to see that because it's so white. But I've got the book 1910, but it goes back. You got one of the first books?
Yeah, mine starts in 1870 and goes to early 1900s.
And I did 1910 to 1918, but they're all the way up till, I think
they're still making them probably.
I didn't realize that they really kept death records they do.
They do, I guess.
Yeah.
At the courthouse, I think, you have the death certificates, which are turned in after each death that list a cause of death.
Yeah.
And all of that is kept in a record.
Yeah. Forever.
But I just didn't realize the records went back so far.
Yeah, so you can literally just flip through here. I mean, that's all it is dates and, you know, it's like you got your name of the deceased, whether you're male, female, married, white or black. That was the options back in 1900. The date and your age, the date you were born, your date of death, and your place of death, a cause of death, and your occupation. The informer, I'm assuming that's the person, the informer is the person that probably contacted.
Oh.
That's what it says up here, informer.
I don't think maybe mine was too long ago. They didn't have informers in the 1800s.
And then how long you
they didn't record it.
How long it's like got page number for like where you're actually at back, because it's not in alphabetical order.
Okay.
And then it shows how long you lived in this state in Illinois. Parents' name, birthplace, where you're buried, and the doctor and the undertaker. I mean, seriously, all sorts of information.
Yeah, there's a lot there, but we're focusing today on the causes of all of these deaths.
Yeah. Well, and like we were talking, it's like so many of them, well, like you said, 90% are cured today. So be happy that you live in the time that you live in.
Yes, because it's very sad what all of these people died from things that are treated so differently today. Even things that we couldn't cure, they would have not suffered like they probably did back then. But the really heartbreaking is the children.
Lots of children did not make it when we do all this research, it'd be like, you know, they had 11 children, 4 survivors, meaning that they made it to adulthood. I mean, it is crazy.
Yeah.
Hard times were hard back then. And like I said, if you passed away back in the olden days, they didn't have all the morphine and stuff or they didn't utilize it. You know, it would have been interesting. Well, but so we came across a bunch of interesting, some things I can't even pronounce.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get ready to take a commercial break.
Yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we will dive in.
Yes, because I don't want to start on one of my stories.
Oh, no, we can't.
It's going to be like a long one.
Yeah. We're going to be back after we take a commercial break.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Hello and welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are getting ready to talk about causes of death. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Not today.
Yeah, back
we
in the
don't find
day.
today's deaths very interesting.
No, I'm going to talk about some of the ones I'm talking about are 1870 to 1899.
Yeah, mine are 1910 to 1918.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see
if there's any changes.
If there's many changes between your century and my century.
What was the number one thing that you saw in your book? Like above all
I would
others?
say above everything, pneumonia.
Okay.
And influenza.
Okay.
Boom, right there at the top.
Mine was tuberculosis.
TB, yeah.
TB.
Now, see, by this time they must have started figuring some things out.
A little bit. So what year did you say that yours is
1910 to 1918.
Okay, so in 1882, they determined that TB was not genetic but contagious. Mm-hmm. Up until then, I think they thought it was just something that you were prone to because your family was prone to it, like it was genetic. But some guy named Robert Cook kind of discovered that, and then by the dawn of the 19th century, so this was before that, around 1900 or 1800, 1 in 7 people had died of TB.
Wow.
Can you believe that? 1 in 7 would die of TB. Like that was the average, 1 in 7.
Well, see, because we come across in my book, I came across a lot of, because TB was in here. But then in my research, it's the same as consumption.
Yes, that's what they called it. And they've even went back to mummies in Egypt, and there's a lot of those that died of TB. Like it's a thing that has been around forever.
Yeah, infectious lung disease, cough, fever, night sweats.
Yeah. In the 1800s, they had these big like sanatoriums where they would send everybody. And the pictures of that are heartbreaking. Like there would just be rows and rows of children.
Yeah.
Just all laying in cots. I think I have a picture. Ty, do I have a picture of some guys sitting? Yeah, this is a type of sanatorium for some TB patients. This was in Arizona. And you see the guy on the right is like breathing in smoke or no, maybe that's another photographer.
I think he's the photographer.
Well,
but there
must be multiple photographers.
There was a lot of steam, I think.
They would breathe in. Yeah, I read something about they would breathe in smoke and they would breathe in steam to try to help. But this was just like a little place where they would keep all of the TB patients.
I mean, they didn't know what to do with it. So look, if you think back, even at one time, like the Orchard City, so let's go back to the Orchard City College.
Yeah.
Was a college, but even during certain times, that place was utilized as a place for sick people to go.
Oh, really?
They used it. I found some research on Orchard City, like it was, when it was a college, like when it would be empty, they would put, they didn't know what to do with people. Like scarlet fever, measles, all that stuff just ran rampant.
Well, they started calling it tuberculosis in 1834.
I wonder where they
Before
get that name.
It was just only
That's
consumption.
An odd name.
I don't know exactly, but in 1943, antibiotics for it were finally put into play. And in 1952, somebody named Selman Waksman won a Nobel Prize for his work in treating TB. But yeah, I mean, it was in this book. It was just so sad. It was just like. One
and
after
knew
another.
No age.
No,
it wasn't
every
age specific. Everything.
Every age was dying from it, and I mean it was on every single page had multiple TB patients.
Now, on your book, did you find it? What was the occupations of most everybody?
Mostly people were farmers,
housewives.
A lot of these weren't listed. It seemed like some people, if they had something really cool, their occupation was listed, but not on every. Not on every. Like by then, maybe they were keeping better track. But like here's Dr. Jeremiah Bowman. We talked about him. He was a doctor, so his is listed as physician surgeon, and he died in 1884 of softening of the brain. What do you think that means?
I wonder if they called that, because we've got senility. There's a lot of senility in this.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they kind of thought that
maybe
like
his brain
senility and that, like almost like what dementia would be.
Like dementia or Alzheimer's.
Would be dementia, Alzheimer's. But I also truly believe this is going to, like my family, my grandmother, she never really talked about her father. He was a Hunley from the Sailor Springs, Clay City area. And she never talked about him because a lot of times, like when it came to senility and Alzheimer's, when people started having the brain issues, they assumed that they were insane.
Oh.
And so and I believe my great grandfather died they sent them off into an asylum, because how else would you? I would imagine, because like if you think of somebody today, like if you know somebody, they start talking different, they start acting different. And I do believe that he probably, my mom said, well, I'm assuming, my mom didn't even know anything about her grandpa. She said mom didn't talk about it, and so I believe he died. So I would imagine that softening, because I never came across softening of the brain in this book, but I did come across a lot of senility.
Yeah, I saw some senility too. This woman, she was, it doesn't say her age, female. She died of summer complaint.
What, was shot? That's you, summer complaint. You're always complaining about the summer.
I know. I didn't know it would kill me. I'm like done complaining now. I'm not talking about summer anymore.
Yeah, you might.
Apparently, it's going to kill me.
Because summer complaint.
Summer complaint.
I don't even know.
I don't know. She got overheated. Maybe she had a heat stroke.
Oh.
Maybe she did.
Yeah, because you can Google some of this stuff and you can't even, there were some of these diseases that were in mine that I never did find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the other one that was in my book all the time was malaria.
Yeah, not a lot. There's a few cases of malaria, but mine, like I said, mine is pneumonia. This Bright's disease comes up a lot. I have a lot of poisons.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if now people are like, we're starting to experiment with like different concoctions that we make. I have a lot of poisoning deaths.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It is interesting because I'm wondering if they
poisoning on purpose or poisoning on accident.
Well, it doesn't really say.
I'm gonna guess accidental.
Yeah. So I just have a few. Like I have a tuberculosis here. She was 28 years old. Yeah, she died in 1918. Meningitis. I got some meningitis going on.
Yeah.
But another one that comes up a lot in mine is Bright's disease.
Yeah.
And Bright's disease,
I saw that too,
is the inflammation of kidneys.
Okay.
Edema, hemorrhage, hypertension, and blindness.
Man.
And Bright's disease shows up a lot. And but a lot of those were like they're 60. Like this one was well, no, wait a minute. This one was only 6 years old. Yeah, they're just. I've got a lot of them highlighted.
I wonder if, like, that could be a urinary tract infection.
Well, if it affects the kidneys.
Yeah, and then it turned into a kidney infection, and they called it Bright's disease. I mean, it would be odd for a 6-year-old. I mean, it's not odd for a 6-year-old to get a urinary infection, but
no,
to have a kidney, like that many people to have kidney disease.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then I have just some that are just old age that made it to their 90s.
Okay, I was going to talk about that.
I mean, it's
crazy. You know how many old ages are in this book?
How many?
I counted 2. But I didn't make it through every single page. But I was going to talk about the one cause of death that I hardly ever saw in this entire book: old age.
Well,
nobody lived that long.
I mean, there was. I think in this one there's 12.
Okay.
There's 12 old ages of this. So, well, I guess from 19, you're talking 8 years.
Yeah.
So only 12 people died of old age.
So 1.2 probably people per year.
Yeah.
Died of old age. I mean, it was really sad because it's like you just didn't see that. And then the ones that I did see that died of old age, one of them was 58.
Well, wait a minute now. That's cutting it just a little too close.
The other one was 72.
Yeah, at least my old age was where they were in their 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, they made it to their 90s. I didn't mark them all down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of pneumonia. I found another one that I found. I probably won't say it right. Apoplexy, Apoplexy.
I think that's a stroke.
That is a stroke or hemorrhage.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, because like Bright's disease, some of these are all intertwined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes me wonder too how they diagnosed their cause of death exactly. Like they didn't know. They probably didn't do autopsies. They probably just took a really good guess.
True.
What they were seeing symptom-wise. I don't know. But there was also a lot of typhoid in my book. And typhoid is caused by salmonella.
Right.
So, and today nobody really gets typhoid because it's cured by antibiotics. And
right.
I don't know, maybe one of the vaccinations that we get. I'm not sure. But So it's a salmonella infection that then causes sepsis. But do you know the story of typhoid, Mary? The actual story?
Actually gave. Is it Mary who got typhoid?
Yeah, Mary.
Okay,
Mary Mallon was her name.
Who?
Mary Mallon.
Mary Mallon.
She lived from 1869 to 1938, and this is a tragic story. Some of you might already know the story, but she came to the United States in 1884, and she was a cook. Okay, she worked as a cook for rich people.
Oh,
but unbeknownst to her or the people that she worked for, she was a carrier for typhoid, but didn't actually have any symptoms. Like at one point, I think she had been sick, and they kind of thought she might have it, but then like she just like bounced back, and she was like completely fine and went on with her life. Well, no one back then really realized, at least not yet, that you could be a carrier for typhoid, but not have any symptoms. So she was working as a cook and was touching all of their food. And
oh my goodness!
And back then, you didn't wash your hands. Yeah, so she'd probably go to the bathroom, cook food, do all of these things, And she worked for, I think, I didn't write the whole story down, but
now was she actually in our county, or is this?
No, this is she wasn't. I mean, people have heard of her. She's like a famous case. No, she was not in Clay County.
Okay,
but she worked with 8 or 9 different families, and they would all get typhoid and die. And then she would move on to another family, and they'd all get typhoid. And some of them did survive, but a lot of them died. Over and over and over, this would happen. And I would think Mary would be like, what's happening? Why does everyone die that I work for?
Well, she kind of has an LC Bible office, not meaning to kill everybody she works for.
So, yeah, anyway, someone started investigating, and they figured it out that she was. So then they forced her into quarantine on this island.
I was just going to ask you what happened. I'm surprised they didn't, by the time, or the witch trials, they're probably done by this time.
No, she had to live there for, I want to say the first time she lived there 13 years or something. By herself. And the really sad thing about her life is no one explained to her how this worked. No one explained hey, you're a carrier of this disease. Right. You need to not cook for people. You need to wash your hands good. You need to stay a distance away. No one explained any of this. They just quarantined her.
They literally just took her away, and she had no clue why?
Yeah, I think they told her a little bit, but she didn't understand. It was never thoroughly explained to her. She didn't understand. So I'm kind of giving her the benefit of the doubt, but she, after so many years, you'll have to Google it. I want to say it's 13 years. They allowed her out.
Well, let's before you finish the story, let's take a quick commercial break, because you've got me very intrigued now on Typhoid Mary.
We'll be back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend, and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting, and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am right smack dab in the middle of my story about Typhoid Mary.
Yes. Get back to this.
Okay, so Mary Mallon, she was a cook. She was carrier of typhoid. They figured it out. They put her in quarantine. She was there.
Whoa, what's this? What's happening?
That. I'm getting to that.
Oh, my goodness. That was crazy picture. I expected to look up and see a beautiful quilt.
No. Okay, so she was in quarantine. They let her out at some point, according to the story I read. Now, there's different stories out there because a little bit of this turns into urban legend, but it is a factual case. I mean, this is for real. It's not all urban legend, but there's a few variations on how long she was in quarantine and blah, blah, blah. But so then they told her that she could go live, but she should not be a cook, and she should maybe just be, I think they wanted her to be just like house cleaning or something, but not involved with the food. But I think that was probably a lot less money. And again, she didn't understand any of this, why not to cook. And at least I don't think she did. So she decided to change her name because she was in the news. Like, people knew her name.
Could you imagine? She wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
Yeah, she changed her name to Mary something else. Mary, I don't have it written down. Edwards or something, I don't know. And
Mary Smith.
Might have been Smith.
Let's just go with Smith.
Ty might be able to Google that for me.
Let's just go with Smith all the way.
So she changed her name to Mary Smith. What is it? First quarantine 3 years. Okay. So the first quarantine she was in 3 years, and then they decided to let her out and to give her a chance. Mm-hmm. She changed her name, and she went back to work as a cook, not just for a family, but at a maternity hospital.
No, she didn't.
She sure did.
Wow, now she's crossing a line.
Yeah, well, they said she had no clue. And apparently, I don't understand.
Why would you
was
ask?
She not quite right? I mean, maybe she didn't. Maybe she was low intelligence and she couldn't comprehend, or maybe because they thought she was a woman, she couldn't comprehend and they didn't thoroughly explain it to her.
Be like, hey, you're weird.
I mean, you had 3 years to tell her. I think you could have had multiple meetings with her and been like. But maybe they truly didn't understand it either, because this was the very first case that they knew of that anybody could have typhoid and carry it but not have any symptoms of it. Okay, so when she started working at the maternity hospital, 25 people got sick.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't remember how many of them died, but several. So then they were like, Mary, this is the Mary Mallon. Okay, they caught her. Like, why are you doing this? Now you're back in quarantine. So for total, she was in quarantine for 26 years of her life. And she died alone on an island.
Oh.
Uh-huh. And
she died alone on an island?
Yeah, because her quarantine was on this island. That's where they sent her. I want to say New York, but I didn't write down the whole story because I knew I didn't have time to tell the whole thing. So this is a short synopsis, but you can find the whole thing on the internet. Mary Mallon.
That's pretty cool.
Typhoid Mary, and that term is still used today. I mean, a lot of people use that term, like if you're the one that comes to work and you have the flu, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's Typhoid Mary over there giving us all the flu."
Yeah,
that's
it did stick around for a while.
Yeah, that's where that term comes from. But anyway, there was a lot of typhoid in Clay County for these years.
Wow.
And every age was affected. Lots of people died. And again, if they only washed their hands, things would have been so much better and had some hygiene.
What was the cause of death for typhoid? I mean, what did it do to your body? What did it say? Is it kind of like just...
it was everything. It was headache, stomach pain, throwing up, fever.
Literally just shut down your whole system.
Just basically everything,
Well, our handy-dandy man in the back room, Ty Landreth, came up with the what summer complaint is.
Yes, let's tell him.
It's drinking spoiled milk.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. Are they trying to make cottage cheese? I don't know, because everybody always like, cottage cheese is spoiled milk. I don't know.
Maybe she put it in a food and thought it wasn't spoiled and didn't taste it. But I would think you wouldn't just sit down and drink a glass of spoiled milk, because you would gag.
But that's what summer complaint is, drinking spoiled milk.
Maybe that's all she had.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought it would be okay.
Well, some other ones that I found here in my little book was purpura fever.
Ooh, purpura.
Purpura fever, yes. It's a vitamin deficiency. And what it did, it caused red, purple spots underneath your skin and swelling.
Sounds horrible.
Purpura fever.
Purpura.
A vitamin deficiency. Easily taken care of. I mean, have you ever even heard of that in your entire life?
Yeah, but back then, I mean, people didn't have all the food and groceries that they needed.
No.
I mean,
yeah. You know, it's almost a catch-22.
What?
Because I'm kind of one of those people that I think that a lot of the stuff that we eat and drink is bad for us now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of cancer cause. I think we
right,
have a lot
because
of cancer
there's so many things
because
in our food.
of the preservatives and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's almost like back then they didn't have the preservatives. But yet still died of certain, spoiled milk and that type of thing.
Probably not enough
no
vitamin C and stuff like
And
that. I mean, like sailors used to die of that because they didn't have any fresh fruit or anything. That was called, what was that called? Not skate. I can't think of it.
I can't think of that either. But purpura fever, I came across a lot of scarlet fever too. Scarlet. Now I'm wondering, and scarlet fever had a lot of it was a bacterial illness that develops during strep throat.
Yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit about strep throat. Didn't we have just like a serious outbreak of strep throat just not too long ago here? Every time you turn around, somebody's like, "Oh, I got strep throat, got strep throat, got strep throat."
Back then it'd just kill you.
Back then you just
there's
strep
no
throat would
antibiotics.
turn into scarlet fever and you'd be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so
that's
sad.
crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy
Yeah.
because, I mean, if anything else, this episode should be teaching you to be very thankful for modern medicine and antibiotics.
Oh, just think about, you just like, let's say you don't eat right, but all you got to do is just go out to Dollar General, Walmart, or CVS and buy your thing of vitamins.
Yeah.
How many of us just take vitamins now because, and then you won't get the purpura fever.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, we just have ileosis was big in my
I
book.
saw some of that.
That's a gastrointestinal.
Okay.
What's the other one that's what we were talking about? It's like, what is that? It's like where you basically diarrhea. What is that called? It's escaping me.
I didn't write it down.
Well, how could we not write either one of us write that? Because we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
And it'll probably come across here, but yeah, ileosis.
I just look at a few pages and I'll probably see it.
Yeah.
Diphtheria, is that what you're talking about?
Diphtheria. I believe diphtheria, yes.
Yeah, diphtheria. And then there's another one, too. But, yeah, I'm seeing, like, just a lot of people, too, that had indigestion. No, the one I was going to talk about was tetanus. And, Ty, you can show that picture again.
Okay.
There are people that die of tetanus. And this is what it would be like to die of tetanus. Your muscles all seize up.
Oh, my gosh.
And you are stuck in positions and you cannot move. That is tetanus. That, folks, is why you get a tetanus shot. And that is why when you step on a rusty nail or you get cut by a piece of metal, you go get that tetanus shot because, folks, that looks like the most painful death.
I can't even,
that picture was in a textbook I had when I was a kid.
Really?
I don't know what year, but I was like, after that, I'm like, going to be getting my vaccination for tetanus.
Yeah.
Like, no
Do
thanks.
we get those
That's the one you're supposed to get every 10 years.
Okay.
So even as an adult.
I'm due for, I remember we were putting a roof on our house probably 20-some years ago. It was the last tetanus shot I ever had, and I stepped on a roofing nail. Went right through my flip-flop.
Yeah.
I went up there and got a tetanus shot.
Yeah.
And I hate
because
needles.
You don't want to die like that.
No, that'd be horrible.
This woman that died of tetanus, her name was, this is a beautiful name, America Ellen Shin. And she was 31.
It's this lady right there?
No,
that's a man.
That's a man from.
I was gonna say
that's from the internet.
That's literally a terrifying picture.
Yes, that's what the one they put in textbooks. Okay.
Wow.
So this was in 1885. She was 31 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And she died of tetanus. Yeah, so that's super sad. Get your tetanus shots, folks.
Well, let's go for tetanus is not very, but the dropsy.
Oh, dropsy is in here a lot.
Dropsy.
That's a stroke.
Dropsy, generalized swelling causing heart failure treatments were scanty. I love the words they use the word scanty, and were aimed to cause emptying of the system. So yeah. Lots of strokes. I came across a lot of strokes, but I just thought dropsy was kind of a cool name.
Yeah.
I know that's silly, but...
Yeah. So one thing I found on one of these pages was a woman named Florence DeVore.
Family?
Yes. So she, Ty, I think I have a picture of her headstone. She was 17 years old. She's buried at Oskaloosa, and she died of being struck by lightning.
Oh.
Yeah, so it says Florence A., daughter of Samuel, who I had to look all this up. My goodness, this woman was my great-great-aunt. Her brother was my great-great-grandfather, so I think that would make her my great-great-aunt.
I think something like that.
Yeah, so.
After a while, you kind of start losing.
There was a lot of lightning strikes.
Yeah, I remember gosh darn it, this was in my time, back in the 80s, when I think that there was a young lady that was killed down in Reinhard.
Oh, really?
A mother, I think she was a young mother, and she was hanging clothes out on a line.
Oh.
And a storm was like miles and miles away, and from that storm... And like I said, she was out there like quickly taking and was struck by lightning and killed. And I believe that was in Reinhard in the 80s, early 80s.
That's awful. I was researching.
Lightning scares me.
Oh, yeah. I was researching a story for the cemetery tour, and there was a 12-year-old girl. I think there was two of them on the porch, but I think they both got hit, but I think only one died. Right here in Florida, they were just on a porch watching it storm and got hit by lightning on the porch.
Wow, that's crazy.
I wasn't able to put that in the cemetery tour because I really couldn't find anything other than the fact that happened. There wasn't much of a story there.
No story. But yeah, I mean, lightning is. You can have wind and you can have rain and you can have everything, but boy, that lightning starts coming down.
Oh yeah.
And I am like, ugh. Okay, now you and I were talking about this next one that I found.
Okay.
And it says it's like DRK.
Oh yeah.
We think that Bay Rum. We think that's you're dying from being drunk from Bay Rum.
I think it is.
DRK Bay Rum. And I looked it up.
What else could it be?
I don't know.
Drank Bay Rum, drunk Bay Rum. I mean,
that's one of those things I've got And this guy that died was 36 years old. He was male, single, white, and he was a carpenter. He is buried in the Ingraham Cemetery. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Bay Rum.
Yeah. Drank himself to death.
It'd have to be.
Yeah, I'd say he did.
I didn't come across... There was a couple of other ones that I did come across, a couple other Bay Rums. But why are they... I mean, Bay Rum, I guess that was something that was around.
I don't know. I found one, and it was a familiar name. His name was Sylvester Ryder. We've talked about him on other shows.
Yeah.
He was the guy, he was big in the Catholic Church here in town, and he lived on Ryder Street. He founded the whole Ryder Street neighborhood. He owned it originally. He died, and it listed him as age 73, and for his job, he was listed as a capitalist.
Well, I like that.
I like that too. I'm a capitalist.
That's as American as you can get. And we will talk a little bit more about deaths in the 1900s after we take a commercial break.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have Galaxy Bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Rural King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about causes of death way back in the day in like the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Well, you know what they didn't have back in the day? Internet. Can you tell everybody where they can find us?
Yeah. You can find us on YouTube. Our channel on YouTube is By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And we're on Wabash Television Channel 100 weekdays at 11 a.m. And you can always send us an email if you have a question, a comment, something you want us to talk about, an idea. And our email is bytheway@gmail.com.
All right. Now that you know where you can find us, let's talk about death.
Yeah.
We're
up, now we're down.
You know, another interesting thing is how many people were hit by trains.
Oh, yeah.
I have a ton of train deaths in here. Not on the train. It literally says hit by railroad.
Oh.
But if you think about it, there's
I didn't have as many as...
No flashing lights.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine that, you know, the railway's been around for a long time. But I would think like the 1900s is when it's really kicking into high gear.
Right. I think you're right.
Now people are having more money and they're traveling more. Mm-hmm. But I had a lot of train incidents. Sometimes it makes you wonder. I remember a long time ago when I was little, in the 70s, and a gentleman actually committed suicide right on South Main Street, sitting right there on the railroad tracks. A lot of train, I know, but I don't know. And it didn't specifically list whether they were suicides or accidents.
Right there in the middle of town.
Oh yeah, right there.
Somebody
on South,
died there.
You betcha. Sitting that he was facing west. The train was traveling east, and he sat right there. My dad was on the volunteer fire department and had to go pick pieces up. I think it was it was probably 1975, 6.
That's super sad.
He committed suicide right there on the train tracks, right there on South, right when you're crossing on South Main.
What time of day? I mean,
it was in the evening because I remember when my dad was on the volunteer
fire. When do you do that without somebody rushing up to grab you?
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night, I believe, because my dad. Well, back in the day, the volunteer fire. My dad had a box-sized dresser. They played like the highest white noise, and then go pew pew, and it'd wake the entire because it was like. And then I remember him being called out. Yeah,
that's heartbreaking.
Him being called out, but yeah. So there's a lot of train deaths.
Yeah.
Another thing, poisons.
Yeah.
I have a ton of arsenic poisoning.
Yeah, I did. I think I saw some, but I don't think I had a ton.
And the thing about this, arsenic poisoning is consuming high levels of arsenic by ingesting it. And out of all the arsenic poisonings, only one man, the rest, all poisons, were all women. Only one man in this entire book was done by poisoning. Some of the other poisoning, it wasn't just arsenic. There was a lot of other poisonings with different names.
I wonder, how does this happen? And
that's
is
what I'm
something
wondering.
that they poison? Like I'm a little skeptical. Like somebody killed her, so that was like a way to off your wife.
Well, it would, like I said, the majority of them, there was only one man that died of poisoning. It wasn't just arsenic. Why didn't I write that other one down? Beth, why don't you make me do things?
I don't know.
Why aren't you there, being right there with me?
Because I was in Tennessee buying quilts.
Yeah, you were. But basically poisoning. Poisoning was all over the place, and only one man was poisoned. And they're all housewives, and they're all in their 30s. They were
that's
30.
super
Something
suspicious.
Isn't right.
Yeah.
Something isn't right.
I'm going to say, let's go back and investigate that.
In this book, between 1910 and 1918, there was one homicide.
Okay.
And I would like to look this up. His name was Henry. I think this is Calteux, Cailteux, but maybe the name changing. But he was a male, single, white. He was 17 years old, and he died in Clay City, March 28th, 1913, and it's a homicide. Yeah.
Wonder how that happened, and wonder who it was. We're gonna investigate that.
Yeah, I do want to
write that down.
I do want to investigate him.
Yeah.
While I'm writing that down, do you have anything else fun?
That
wasn't fun. Sorry.
No, none of them are fun. there are interesting though.
Yeah, right. Because I'm going to write him down. We're gonna look at him on our next show.
One thing I wanted to say in this whole book, I saw maybe 2 or 3 deaths from cancer. And that was maybe if it was that many.
I've got a few
nobody died of that
carcinomas.
back
Yeah.
then, which is interesting because almost everybody dies of that now.
Boy, and I'm telling you what, it is just...
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
But the ones that really caught my eye that made me go, abortion.
Yep, I came across some abortions,
There were a lot of people that died from abortions. And I'm not talking the babies died from abortions.
No,
I'm talking the mamas.
Mom died,
The moms died. This one, her name was Mary, and she was a housewife. She was 27 years old, and she died from an abortion at the 2nd month of her pregnancy.
Huh, yeah. So I came across one. Her name, what'd you say yours was? What was your name?
Mary.
My lady's name was Ruby. She was 21 years old, and she died of abortion in Flora. And she's buried in Elmwood.
And there were some abortions that said how they chose to try to do it. And I think I circled one. Let me see if I can find it. A lot of people fell. A lot of trees falling on people, too.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Just your basic...
Bad falls. That's what that Sylvester Ryder died of. It was a bad fall.
Right.
And an injury to his spinal cord.
Wow.
A lot of premature deaths from premature birth.
I'm telling you what, the children, and you go into the cemeteries, and you're looking at the, all the, well, I got some right here. My trains ran over, 55-year-old train ran over man, 78-year-old man being run over by a train.
This was another Mary, Mary Landreth Ty. I don't know if you're related. She was 27 years old too. She was a domestic, which meant she probably worked for someone in their home.
Yeah.
She died of poison by drinking lye concentration for miscarriage. So she was trying to abort the baby, drank lye
too much,
and instead killed herself. And then right below her, but this didn't happen at the same time, but this lady, her name was Frederica, and she was a farmer's wife. She was 71 years old, and she died from tablespoon of arsenic suicide.
So I wonder that's what they. Mine doesn't break it down. See, your book breaks down exactly.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Not all the time.
No.
But they did on that one.
Yeah, I think if they thought it was an interesting fact, they included it. But a lot of them were just, congestion, pneumonia.
Pneumonia, yeah.
Chronic sore throat. Poor Emma. She was only 4 months old, but she had chronic sore throat. She's 4 months old. She couldn't tell them her throat hurt. What do you think about that one? They're just like, oh, her throat hurts.
I wonder if that was part of it, because like the strep throat thing.
Yeah.
Well, and the other one that I found interesting, which I'm not surprised, being kicked by horses.
Oh, yeah. That's all over in here. Horses.
Horses kicking.
Yeah.
Horses make me nervous.
Horses killed way more people than cancer.
This little guy was, his name was Cecil Montgomery. He was only 7 years old. And he lived in Louisville, and he was kicked by a horse at home. But I love horses, and they're beautiful, but they make me nervous.
Oh, I'm not a horse person. I
admire them from a distance.
Yeah,
they are beautiful, and they are strong, and they are glorious. But man, and I see somebody just like walking around. I'm like, don't walk behind that horse. And what makes a horse kick you?
I don't know, walking on the left side, I think.
I don't know.
I think someone always told me that. Like, don't go on the left side. I don't know. Maybe it's the right side. But I want to mention this one. This little baby, Thomas Raines, 5 months old, his cause of death is just listed as doubtful. What? Doubtful? Doubtful he died? He did for sure die. Doubtful that he wasn't murdered? What You're leaving me hanging here.
What is it? Well, what's that when they... SIDS?
Just sudden infant
death? You just
death?
don't know?
I don't know. I'm doubtful. I don't know. I need more.
What happened to your child? I don't know. I'm doubtful.
Yeah, it's not enough.
It's not enough for Beth. We need more. We're here for the information. Oh, another one. Burns.
Oh, yeah.
House fires. A lot of burns and house fires. But this is really weird. I don't understand this one. This little person, listen, his name, I don't even know how to say it. Comethes.
Comethes or
Comethes Myers. He was 1 year old in Louisville, and it says burns and / coffee.
Ugh.
So, I mean,
they probably had coffee on over the stove or the fire, and he scalded himself.
It gives you chills.
Oh, poor baby.
Was there any other ones I really wanted to? Malnutrition was big. Burns. Asphyxiation. A lot of allergic reactions.
Yeah.
A lot of asphyxiations.
This one is just this 28-year-old male. He was a railroad brakesman, and it says he was run over by nothing. They didn't finish it. What? What was he ran over by?
What was he run over by?
I'm guessing the train, since that's where he worked, but I don't know.
We may have to investigate this one. 1912, Louisville. 67-year-old female married white woman, Emma Edwards, and her death was strangulation. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Did she accidentally strangle herself? Did she strangle herself on purpose, or did somebody else strangle her?
Well,
I mean, like if you hung yourself, that's not nice. If you hung yourself, that would be considered probably, but they would probably word it
she would have put suicide on there.
I didn't see any hangings.
Oh, and did I tell you this one 33-year-old woman that died of a headache?
Oh.
She was a housewife. She probably had kids. Yeah, 37-year-olds, and the cause of death is headache.
Huh.
I just find this book fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I have two sisters here, and one is 20 and one is 29. Okay, they're 9 years apart. I'm pretty sure they're sisters. They're both, or maybe they were married to brothers. They both have the last name Price, Harriet and Elnora. Okay, they both died in 1881. One in February, one in July. But the cause of death for both of them is child bed fever. So they were both trying to have a baby. Were they in labor and childbed? Because they're not children. They're grown women in their 20s. Childbed fever.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's sad. I mean, both of them to go.
Well, I don't know about you, but this episode was very interesting.
It was very interesting. It makes me very thankful.
Yes, me too.
Antibiotics.
I am thankful for doctors and antibiotics and hospitals and nurses and specialists. Yeah. It is. It's insanity.
It's just sad how not only how these people died, but how painful and agonizing and slow some of their deaths probably were.
Yeah, these people, I'm telling you what, the people that founded this country and from the beginning, boy, they're tough. They're way tougher than we ever thought about being.
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
We're soft.
Well, my rules to live by is pretty easy today. It's one that Jim uses all the time. Attitude is everything.
Oh.
Attitude is everything. You can have a bad attitude. You're either going to take your situation and make it better, or you're going to make it absolutely worse.
Yeah.
I
totally agree with that.
By your attitude.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this was a crazy episode.
It was. I hope no one found it offensive or morbid. We never mean to do that. It's just for historical reasons. Like, it's interesting to us to study how different things are today versus how they were. And this is, this is a big part of Clay County history. Everybody died, so you kind of got to talk about it. Yeah.
We're all going to do it. And what's scary is one day
our names will be in the book.
Our names are going to be in the book. But more importantly, my name's right next to in Jesus' book.
Yeah,
so whatever happens, happens.
That's true.
Well, we are glad you joined us today, and we just want to wish you a blessed day.
So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.